Abundance Economic Network welcomes NETQUBE brand advocates. Welcome to the Expense Members Workshop. In this program, I'm going to explain to you what an expense member is, how you can join, and other great benefits to you. My name is Patty Hathaway. I'm a certified speaking professional, business advisor, and author. I am also, most importantly, AEN's Director of Learning. I will be your guide during this journey. Do you have bills to pay? Everybody has bills to pay. The bills we can help you pay include groceries, utility bills. On the far top right-hand corner, education costs. That would include college debt, current tuition, private school education, rent or mortgage, and also on the lower right-hand side, child care or child support expenses. Here are some of what we cover in utility bills, the traditional things such as electric, gas, water, and sewer, but we also help with cell phones, internet, cable, and trash. I don't know about you, but my cell phone for our family is one of my biggest expenses. We also help with auto expenses. We know that more than 6 million U.S. auto borrowers are behind on their payments. So we can help with lease or loans. We can help with gasoline prices, fixing your car, any automotive repairs or gasoline. We also help with rising healthcare costs. And if you have the luxury of going on vacation, we can help with travel expenses. Our service is we help people to pay their bills. I know you're thinking, what? How can that be? Let's talk about that. Our goal is to move people from feeling hopeless to hopeful. A lot of families are like this picture. A bill comes in and they're thinking, oh my goodness, how am I going to pay that bill? We know from research that 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. We want to move you to these happy couple which say, bills, hey, I get help to pay my bills, because we want to give you hope for your future once again. Again, I get help to pay my bills. When I do live workshops, I tell people we need to say that out loud several times. So I want you to say that with me. You ready? I get help to pay my bills. So this is how the world system works. Many of you may be on the frontline employee at the very bottom of the triangle. If you're a supervisor, you make a little bit more money than the frontline employees. Managers make a bit more. When you get to the executive or CEO position, you're making a lot more money than the people on the bottom of the triangle. In fact, we know that top CEOs make 300 times more than the average worker. But this is how AEN or the kingdom works. We right side the world system. So instead of being on the bottom of the triangle, you'll be on the top of the triangle. This is how each AEN estate works. On the bottom, we have one estate member. They fund AEN operations. They bring in a lot of money to the system to help us run the operation. We then have an opportunity for 6 benefactor members to fund members' bills. We call these people sponsors, or in biblical terms, sowers. The next group is enterprise members. These are the people who invite new members to join AEN. We call these people builders. You, as NETQUBE brand advocates, will be the enterprise members inviting new members. And on the very top, we have 350 expense members in each estate who get help to pay their bills. They are the receivers. We are so excited that you will have the opportunity to invite new members and to make some profit from doing so. There will be more details shared in the deeper dive workshop video that will be coming. Most people are struggling to survive. In this year, in May of this year, 2018, United Way did an interesting project called the Alice Project, and here's what they found. In America today, 66% of all jobs pay less than $20 an hour. That means 43% of U.S. households can't afford basics like food, rent, healthcare, etc. That includes 16.1 million people who live in poverty and 34.7 million who are ALICE people. That means they are asset limited, income constrained, employed people. That is 51 million households total who are struggling just to make ends meet. But God uses kingdom principles. The receivers, or the expense members, those who get help to pay their bills, in Matthew 20, verse 16, Jesus said, "Some are last who will be first, and some are first who will be last." For expense members, finally, the last shall become first, because again, what we do is, I get help to pay my bills. That's what we help you do. We turn you from being squeezed from your money to being happy about paying those bills. We have a Joseph ministry to right side the world's economic system. In Genesis 47, God gave Joseph strategies to save Egypt from a devastating famine and potential economic collapse. If you look at today, the world is on the verge of a potential economic collapse. God provided our founder, Ali Cannon, a unique economic strategy that uses 10 unique algorithms with a minimum of 10 levels of equations that manage this technology system to increase your buying power. This strategy was successfully piloted in Atlanta in 2009 and 10 as VTech, as proof of concept. They ran the system for 3 cycles and helped 3,500 people get money to help pay their bills. More details are shared about the algorithms and applied value economics system in the Deeper Dive workshop video. So, how exactly do your bills pay you? Well, we use a copay discount system. AEN gives you a 10 to 20% copay discount to help you pay your bills. The example we use is healthcare copays. They come alongside and they help you pay your healthcare bills. We do the same thing but build it on algorithms to increase your buying power. So here is just one algorithm that I'm going to share with you. On the far left-hand side, you see the upwards blue arrow that says purchase value. That purchase value represents the bills, the amount of money your bills are. We combine that on the lower bottom arrow that's pointing to the right with the volume of membership. So we combine the purchase value of all of our members in the 350-person estate along with the volume of those memberships. And when we combine there's a tremendous velocity of transactions. A common example that almost everybody is familiar with is PayPal. Did you realize in 2017 they processed $203 billion worth of payments? And their profit from that, their revenue in 2017, was over $13 billion. PayPal doesn't have a product, but they have a service. They help process payments. They use an algorithm similar to what we do. And when you combine all those payments, in our case with bills, along with large volume of membership, that velocity of transaction equals payment of bills in our case. There's only 2 requirements for AEN's expense membership. You need an email account and you need a credit union membership. In this presentation, I'm using Ohio because that's our local credit union, but you will use one locally to you. Why only credit unions? That comes up in every presentation. There's a very important reason for that. In the 2009 economic crisis, 140 banks failed, and the too big to fail banks were bailed out by the government. That same time period, only 28 credit unions failed at that time. Banks, unfortunately, have not changed their practices with risky derivatives. And once again, we're at the point where the Congress is actually looking at repealing the Dodd-Frank Act. U.S. News and World Report said that will return the U.S. to a less regulated pre-financial crisis world, exposing investors and everyday Americans to the same risks that played out in destructive fashion in 2008 and 2009. In fact, March 6 of 2018, the Senate has already repealed many of those Dodd-Frank Act regulations that were in place to protect you and me as consumers. The credit unions do not use the same risky derivatives practice. They are locally or community based. So we are confident that most of those credit unions, when the next economic collapse happens, will be safe and secure. And that is why we will only work with credit unions, and it will require you to have a credit union account. Maria is one of our expense members, and I'm going to show you in a very simplified version. If you'll notice the yellow flag on the very bottom, we have a case study that explains this in much more depth. So don't worry about taking notes. It's all written down for you on our website. So in Maria's case, she's got expense units for her bills, and she's going to get a 10 to 20% copay discount. So let's look at the left column. These are her expense units. She has rent and mortgage, that's $600, and groceries for $200. I always tell people she must be super skinny to only spend $200 on her groceries. But regardless, $600 plus $200 equals $800. She also paid an access fee, which cost $50. Now, in the right-hand column, what she's going to receive 10 days later is her copay discount. She gets $90 for her rent and mortgage, and she gets $40 for her grocery bill. That adds up to $130. So what will happen is that $130 plus the $800 for her bills becomes $930 on the far right side. She paid her access fee. Remember, I told you about that $50, but she receives $60 for it, which means you get paid to join AEN. So on the last column, the last part of it says total loaded. Look at that line. She put into the system $850. That becomes $990 copay deposited directly into her credit union. So if you do the math, her $850 got multiplied by $140. She could use that $140 to pay down her debt, her college tuition, or whatever she would like to do. So how do you become an AEN member? It's pretty simple. Number one, you're going to join the network. You do that by step one, join the credit union. Again, Tell Ohio is simply our example. Number two, you're going to join AEN. Remember that Maria loaded that $50 access membership fee. That's literally to access the network. It will take a minimum of 3 days to get approved by the system. That access fee is rebated back to you as $60. You will then receive, number three, an email confirmation with your membership code. That's really key, because when you invite people, you'll be using your specific membership code. You're going to follow the membership activation instructions to become an expense member. Step two, you're going to actually activate the expense membership because we have several different memberships. So point number one, you receive an AEN invoice email. You follow the expense unit invoice loading instructions. You go online to our Activations tab and follow the directions. You load your expense units. Remember, Maria had $800 for her bills. You select your payment option to complete the transaction, and boom, in 10 days, your original money plus copay discount will be deposited into your credit union, and then you will go pay your bills. Please note, we don't pay your bills. We just help you pay your bills. This two-step process PDF is on our website, and I even have step-by-step instructions with many different photos and things that will really help you. So it will be easier than it seems right now. After you become an expense member, it's less complicated. Number one, you receive the email invoice every 2 weeks with expense unit loading instructions. You go online, reactivate your expense membership every time you load your expense units. By the way, your expense membership, $50, is always rebated back to you as $55 every time you do it. So again, you don't lose any money with that. And third, in 10 days, your original money plus your copay discount will be deposited into your credit union account, and you will go pay your bills. Are there any minimum expense members? Yes, you need to purchase a minimum of 4 expense units per month, but my goodness, I have a whole lot more expense units than I'll ever be able to pay for. So again, how much are your monthly bills? We've provided a free budget planner that's available online to help you figure out exactly what those are. And again, we do everything to make this as simple as possible for you. Another great right side is it's tax-free. I know. Am I kidding you? No. We are a private network, and your copay discounts and your rebates are not taxable. The government would have to change laws to tax copays and rebates, and this is a huge advantage for you to become a member. What we are not is we are not a multi-level marketing, although we greatly appreciate NETQUBE being an MLM company. So we don't require you to recruit members to get paid. But what's great is when you invite members, you do get paid a rebate. But for other people who are not interested in the enterprise membership, they simply have no required starter kit. It's just that access $50 fee to start out. Again, our whole point is I get help to pay my bills. So are there other ways you can make money with AEN? Yes. We have several different memberships in the Abundance Economic Network. More will be shared in the Deeper Dive workshop, but I'll just give you a highlight view. You're a networker, so you will be becoming enterprise memberships, and that's going to be tremendous for you. If you invite 7 people, you'll get a $210 rebate. If you get 35 to join, you'll get a $1,050 rebate, and we have different cycles. You can choose to do that in 30 days or in 3 months. I know you're going to be really excited when you learn how much money you can make. Again, there are case examples available on the website. Do you have a savings account? If you want to grow your savings account, we have a benefactor membership that may be right for you. If you load in $500 for a 30-day cycle, we'll give you a 30% rebate, which is $700. It's $150 plus the $50 access fee that you pay. So again, anytime you buy an access membership or a benefactor membership, we always give that money back to you. If you have $5,000 and you want it to put it in the system for 6 months, we'll give you a 40% rebate, and that's $7,000. And again, remember, all tax-free. I know, you're thinking, are you kidding me? You can't wait to go to the Build Wealth box and get more examples online. If you're an investor or high net worth individual and are looking for a Luke 16 stewardship opportunity with a significant return that has a potential to impact our world for God's glory and unify the churches, then our estate equity membership may be right for you. What we have is a $50,000 one-year commitment and a 40% rebate of $20,000 or total $70,000 because you get your $50,000 back plus $20,000 rebate, which is just a tremendous value for you. Again, we'll share more examples with you when we do the deeper dive, and you can go to the box Build Wealth on our website to get a case study example. Finally, how can you learn more? Well, you can read through the case studies to learn more about the different memberships. You can watch our Deeper Dive workshop video prepared just for NETQUBE members. And of course, our website is abundanceeconomicnetwork.com. We appreciate your time. You can sign up now, follow the instructions in the email that was sent with this video. We do welcome all your questions and are available to answer them. Together, NETQUBE and AEN will be world changers and history makers. Thank you so much for joining us. May God bless you.